Hey guys, and welcome back to Ember Quartz. More importantly, welcome to the Hime route part 1. And I decided to just run you guys through the actual route start, because I don't want to miss any unread lines while I'm it might be different a little bit when it just you save it. So I just going to save. Tome, I think Hime. This is Hime. So this is the first one that I have to. Yeah, how about Hime? So we are going with the Hime one, and then we just skip until we get yeah. So call out to Tomo, leave her alone. I think, yeah, I have to say leave her alone, but I don't know, this is very bad. I don't wanna... Okay, I leave it alone. School lunches are a battle against oneself. I really want Tomo to overcome it on her own. With that thought in my heart, I headed to the sports field to play dodgeball. I happened to look up and saw clear blue skies, perfect weather for playing outside. But my destination isn't a park or a sports field, but a dimly lit abandoned factory even in the daytime. If my mom found out that I always play in a place like this, I'm sure she'd be really angry and forbid me from going there anymore. But even if that happened, I'd probably still go to the abandoned factory almost every day. Because there are things there that other places to play don't have, and because my precious friends are there. Huh? Hime? What's wrong? Okay, so in this route, I don't know why, I thought that I mean, Tomo was my friend, but I never really called out to her in this case, it seems. I don't know. So in this case, we're just abandoned Tomo, which is very evil. Fuck. Okay. On the way to the abandoned factory, Hime was standing idly by the roadside. By the way, this is still episode 4, so it might be kind of bad. What on earth are they doing in a place like this? Hime answered my question that way, and a look of relief crossed her face. I can certainly imagine how unsettling it must be for a girl to go into an abandoned factory alone. How long have you been waiting?
1時間経っちゃった。
What? You were standing on the side of the road for that long? I received an unexpected answer. An hour was definitely beyond my expectations. I mean, how can she just stand there silently? I don't think I could do that. With an hour, you could do all sorts of things, and besides, it's not like someone is necessarily passing by here. Hime is usually always throwing tantrums, but she's surprisingly patient in situations like this. As I was thinking about that, I suddenly remembered a moment right after I met Hime. I think back then, too, I relied solely on Mikone's shrine maiden outfit to search for the shrine in town. And the reason was simple, we just wanted to hang out with you again. Now that I think about it, Hime doesn't have any close friends at school, does she? So it's like Tomo. Well, I'm not exactly in a position to criticize others because I don't have that many friends myself either.
お兄ちゃん、喉乾いたよ。
Hime, completely oblivious to my slight concern, continued to act spoiled and clinged to me in her usual manner. Yeah, I guess I'm not very patient after all. There's a juice vending machine over there. You can just buy whatever you like and drink it. Does she have money?
Huh?
No, I mean, you can just put money in and buy a juice there.
あそこからジュース出てくるの？
Well, of course it's going to come out. Maybe we are not quite on the same page. Am I saying something that difficult? Hime, have you never bought a juice from a vending machine before?
あれってお金入れたらジュースが出てくるんだ。
What? You didn't even know that?
すごい！それってエジソン級の大発明だよ。
No, that reaction is weird. I mean, are you serious? If that's the case, then what did you think those vending machines on the side of the road were all this time?
そんなに強く言わなくたって。
Yeah, this route is going to be annoying. Oh, come on, don't cry over something like that. I'm sorry, it was my fault. I don't really understand why I'm apologizing, but it's better than having Hime cry here. I put my hands together in front of Hime, who was on the verge of bursting into tears, and apologized with all my might, trying to calm her down. I'm sorry, Hime. Please just stop crying. Thanks to my sincere apology, Hime finally stopped crying and began to look at the vending machine with interest again. By the way, I forgot that I have to save here. Okay, overwriting this save in my opinion. Because like they say, a save do is needed. After the lever alone was made, which I did. I don't know if it should have been right after though. But you know what, I'm just going to save it here and it's probably going to be good. Because after this I probably will have a save that go back home is going to be available, so for the Mikone route. I bet they want to know where the juice comes from and how to buy it.
とにかくお金入れてみて、お兄ちゃん。
Just a moment. Hey Hime, don't you have your wallet or anything?
だってお父さんがそんなもの持ち歩いちゃダメだって。そんなの持ち歩くのは小市民だって。
Sorry, I'm just an ordinary citizen.
あ、ごめんなさい。私そんなつもりで言ったんじゃない。
Yeah, I get it. I'm not angry or anything, so don't worry about it. I have a feeling that her route is going to be mainly just like the reason why she isn't with her parents anymore. Like, that's all I can think of. That's right, Hime's dad is the CEO or something, so her family is super rich. I'm reminded once again that Hime is a rich girl. So rich people don't carry wallets. Well, anyway, I give you some money, so put it in. It's on me. You can buy whatever you want. Like, subject of child neglect is going to be on her VNDB page. Saying that, I took Hime's hand and placed enough money to buy a bottle of juice in her palm. You have been standing for so long and you must be thirsty, so I guess I'll treat you. What's wrong?
私がジュース買うんだ。すごく緊張してきた。
What's so tense about this situation? Juice is something you buy more casually, isn't it? Why is this young lady acting so wary? Come on, just put the money in.
じゃあ入れるね。
Hime said that, and with her hands trembling slightly, she put the money I gave her into the slot. Beep.
電気がついた。どうすればいいの？
Just press the button for the juice you want to drink. I mean, you are way too scared. Why did it suddenly freeze up? Why did you suddenly freeze up this time? It's either growling or surprised right now. She's either growling or surprised right now. I think about things like that while looking at Hime. It might become quite interesting once you get used to it. Oh, it looks like you have decided what you want to drink.
ロイヤルミルクティーとココアとアップルジュースとつぶつぶコーンスープと。じゃあアップルジュース。
Just one. I don't know. I only pressed it once, but whatever. Then apple juice. Okay, now press that button.
じゃあ押すね。
What's wrong? What is it this time?
お兄ちゃん、これってドッキリとかそういうオチじゃないよね。
No way, I didn't prepare a punchline or a prank. I answered, shaking my head vigorously, or rather in this case, was the punchline of the prank. Does it not come out even when you press the button, or is it that all that comes out is hot cola? Either way, there's no way I could come up with a plan like that.
じゃあ押すよ。
the fuck? I haven't done anything that would warrant being scolded. It took a long time to decide what to do, but it looks like the chaos might continue for a while longer. Phew, even I'm starting to get a little tired. See? Juice came out of the dispenser, right?
もしかして私の
That's definitely it. Come on, hurry up and take it out.
やっぱり自販機さんが怒ってる
No, just calm down a little. This time, Hime is surprised when she gets a winning spin on the roulette wheel. Just as I predicted, the chaos continues. Anyway, what does I thought so even mean? Listen, this is a bonus roulette wheel, and if it lands on the lamp, you win the jackpot. What the fuck does do vending machines like that exist? This is a very overboard thing to do. Just like, imagine just like you're walking, you want to, I don't know, power it from a vending machine, and then like suddenly you win a jackpot, and this sound is just like emitted out there, and everyone just like looks at your way like, what the fuck is this loud celebration sound?
やったー大当たり
Then I stopped on a winning spot before I could finish explaining. There was juice in the dispenser. They kept coming out. What in the world is this? I thought you only get one winning ticket from a vending machine, but it seems like so much juice is coming out that it's overflowing. Huh? Is this a prank? No, I just denied that myself a moment ago. So this situation is... I don't really understand it, but I just call it beginner's luck.
神様ありがとう
I decided to stop thinking about it too deeply and just come up with a plausible reason to be satisfied with it for now. Hime, on the other hand, didn't think this was strange at all, and for some reason she was thanking the gods. But what am I supposed to do with all this juice?
みんなに持って行ってあげようよ
Well, that's probably the best option. Alright, I give everyone some juice as a present. I only used Google, by the way, just to quickly get through the choices, but it seems like Google Translate isn't really that bad in this case, I don't know. Hime's suggestion was something I had also been thinking about, so I nodded emphatically without any objection. Like, so far the translation is like spot on. Then she tries to... that's how long it... Then she tries to take out the large amount of juice that is packed deep inside the dispenser and carry it away, but...
頑張ってお兄ちゃん
Wait, am I the only one taking it? Hime is willing to support, but has absolutely no intention of carrying it with her. It's so clear-cut that it's almost a turn-off. Alright, then I make sure to carry them all the way to our secret base without dropping a single one. And so I walked towards the abandoned factory, carrying a huge amount of juice all by myself, feeling dizzy and unsteady. It was completely unexpected and a surprise, but this will be a nice souvenir for Koto. Yes, I'm sure they will be happy to drink it. I carried the juice while thinking about those things and while picturing her smile. For us friends, Koto is the most important person in the world. For Koto's sake, this kind of burden was no problem at all. Why am I pressing it twice, bro? I walked along, carrying as many juices as I could in both hands and stuffing as many into my pockets as I could. In that extremely tight state, I somehow managed to reach the front of the abandoned factory. We finally made it. Wait, right now, Koto, I'd let you drink lots of juice. I bet Koto is hungry again today. After all, that girl eats an unbelievable amount. As a glutton, Koto basically relies entirely on Kyo, whose family runs a bento box lunch shop for her meals. I get leftover side dishes from the bento shop, but even so I still feel bad about relying on them completely. Wait, so when we didn't talk to Tomo, what was that then? I totally forgot. So being able to feel Koto's stomach even a little bit like this made me quite happy.
あのねスバルお兄ちゃん
What is it? Hime, who had been walking beside me the whole time, suddenly stopped and started talking to me. I wonder what's going on. Surely she's not going to say something like, I get a juice too. That's just not fair, Hime. I bet you will say something like, Hime help too, won't you?
明日大事な用とかあるかな？
Something important? Not really.
そうよかった。
Hime said this with a joyful expression, her eyes sparkling. The sudden question was something I hadn't expected. Tomorrow's plans, I think it will... Oh, wait. Tomorrow's plans, I think I'll probably go to an abandoned factory just like today. I think Hime feels the same way. That's why she asked me what I needed to do. Hey Hime, what do you mean by that?
明日の夕方姫の家に遊びに来てくれないかな？
Tomorrow evening?
別に無理にってわけじゃないんだけど。
After the sudden question came the sudden invitation as Hime said this. She suddenly looked down, appearing unsure of herself. What should I do? They went to the trouble of inviting me, so it will be bad to refuse. Tomorrow evening. Okay.
本当に？
After thinking about it for a bit, I decided to go over to Hime's house to play. Hime was happy and smiled at me. Seeing them so happy makes me feel like I did something good.
じゃあ指切り玄満。お兄ちゃん小指出して。
A pinky promise.
ほら恥ずかしがらないで。
As she said that, Hime grabbed my hand and intertwined her little finger with mine. My hands were barely big enough to hold the juice, but I managed to stick out my little finger. That was a close call. Actually, this situation is even more embarrassing.
指切り玄満嘘ついたら針千本のマス。本当に約束だから。
Yeah. Overwhelmed by Hime's enthusiasm, I nodded for the time being. I just hope no one sees this situation. I'm kind of scared of the Mikone route now. Like, I have to, betray this promise.
スバル
What?
悪い、急いで学校出ようと廊下を走ってたら先生に捕まっちゃってさ。あれ
What is it?
なんでお前たち顔真っ赤なんだよ。ん
As soon as he showed up, Kyo immediately asked a sharp question. Are our faces really that red? For now I just have to say something right up to cover it up. That's because it's really hot today.
だから缶ジュースを腕いっぱいに抱えてるのか？
Yes, that's right. It's expected of Kyo. Okay, I think I can fool him. Kyo started to believe it on his own.
サンキュー。じゃあ俺の分先にもらっとくぜ。
Kyo quickly ran away from us and went into the abandoned factory. And so I somehow managed to cover up the fact that I was making a pinky promise with Hime without him noticing. What? Hey Kyo! Why are you pulling it out from below? And then Kyo knocked over the juices that had been stacked so neatly, causing a huge mess. I accidentally dropped a huge amount of juice and the area became littered with scattered cans.
お兄ちゃん大丈
Yeah, let's pick up the juice first.
夫？そうだね。
It seems even Hime is willing to help with this, as she squats down and starts picking up the juice. I quickly gathered up the scattered juice and stacked it again in both hands, balancing it nicely. Damn it, Kyo. He knew it was going to collapse and he deliberately pulled out the bottom one. To get revenge on Kyo, I shook the can of juice I picked up as hard as I could. So it's like a carbonated drink. It's a carbonated drink, okay, that only Kyo likes. It's something that almost no one else would choose. Okay, that's perfect. Now all that's left is for Kyo to open the can without noticing. While setting up this little prank, Hime and I continued to pick up the juice. And a few minutes later... Okay, that's everything. Alright, Hime, let's go. After that, we played at the abandoned factory until late, just like we always did. Everyone was delighted with the large quantity of juice that Hime won through beginner's luck. The revenge against Kyo was a success, and Koto was happy to be able to drink lots of juice. A lot happened on my way here today, but I'm glad I got to meet Hime in front of that vending machine. And before I knew it, the fun time was over and the sky had changed from blue to orange. Under that sunset sky, we said goodbye in front of the abandoned factory and went our separate ways home. Oh yeah, I made a promise to hang out with Hime tomorrow, just the two of us, not with everyone. On my way home alone, I remembered the promise I made with Hime for tomorrow. This is my first time visiting Hime's house, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. I wonder if rich people's houses really do have lots of Dobermans in their yards. I walked home slowly, thinking about such things. Perhaps because of that, by the time I got home, it was already starting to get dark. I'm home!
遅かったじゃない。
My mom greeted me in the kitchen. She seemed worried about my late return. But for me, I was more worried about my mother than about her worrying about me. Mom, at least turn on the lights. It's already getting dark inside the house, but my mother is still there in the dim light without turning on the lamp. Her expression is a little off and her voice sounds lifeless, and what worries me most is...
スバル、晩ご飯食べる？
yeah.
あ、ごめん。
What's wrong?
晩ご飯の材料、何もなかったわ。
Disjointed conversation, disjointed exchanges. None of these were things I could have imagined for my mother before. This is what I'm most worried about. Mom has changed ever since Kotori left. And it was heading in a direction that was far from good. Even as a child, I could clearly see that it was in a bad state. It was painful for me to see my mother like that, but at the same time, I really understood how she felt. So Honestly, Mom's so clumsy, I guess I have to go buy something. What would you like? And so I tried my best to act cheerful and bright in front of my mother.
豆腐とネギと白滝と卵。
What is it?
それって小鳥の大好物のすき焼きだった。すき焼きはもういいんだよね。そうだ、そうよね。すき焼きはもういいと。
But no matter how hard I try, no matter how much I pretend to be cheerful and energetic, Mom hasn't changed. She won't go back to being the mom she used to be. And most importantly, Kotori. Mom, I just go to the supermarket and buy some ready-made food. Unable to bear the heavy atmosphere any longer, I raise my voice and try to leave the kitchen. I'm sorry, Mom. This is just running away, isn't it? I was thinking that to myself. Okay, I'll be right back.
あ、スバル。
What's wrong, Mom? A voice called out to me as I was about to head to the front door. I turned around and saw my mother staring at me. I wonder what it is, maybe a favor to ask.
母さんね、明日買いたいものがあるの。買い物に付き合ってくれないかな。
It's fine, but we have school tomorrow as usual, you know.
放課後でいいから。
I understand.
約束だよ。
Damn. My mother murmured this and went back into the dark kitchen. I wish she had at least said have a good day, but oh well. While thinking about that for a moment, I tried to memorize the sudden plans for tomorrow. Then I put on the shoes I had just taken off and went outside again to buy some ingredients for dinner. Oh, that's right. The moment I stepped out the front door, I remember something important. It was a pretty painful mistake. Oh yeah, I had a promise to hang out with Hime tomorrow. I had completely forgotten the promise I made with Hime in front of the abandoned factory, the big promise we made while holding juice. This is difficult. I stopped in the middle of the road, agonizing over the situation while saying that to myself. In situations like this, I suppose I should stick to the promise I made first, which is to play with Hime. Why am I accidentally pressing it? What happened with my mouse, bro? But I can't just leave my mom in that state, and if possible, I like to go shopping with her. What should I do? I scratched my head, regretting the way I scheduled so many things. I usually don't have any plans, but why does it have to all coincidence perfectly today? And then the following day after school. In the end, the appointed time arrived at me having come up with an answer. See, this is what I mean. Sometimes my fucking mouse is bad. Oh, Tomo, sorry, I can't today.
そうなんだ。
Could you tell everyone that I'm sorry, but I can't go today?
わかった。
I declined Tomo's invitation to go to the abandoned factory together, and also asked her to pass on a message that I wouldn't be able to make it today. I'm glad it was Tomo who didn't pester me for the reason. Thanks. Then I said goodbye to Tomo in the classroom and left school alone. My legs are moving, but my destination is completely undecided. Even at this point, I still couldn't decide whether to keep my promise to Hime or my mother. If I go to Hime's place, I'm scared of what will happen when I get back, and if I go shopping with my mom, it's hard to see Hime next day. It's a hassle when Hime cries her eyes out, but lately I can't just leave mom alone. What should I do? I really need to make a decision soon. Yeah, I think I should go to Hime's house after all. Hime was the one who made the promise first. After much thought, I decided to go to Hime's house to play instead of going shopping with my mom. So if I would have go back home, I think that mom would have took me to a shrine to pray. And that's when we were meet Mikone. I feel a little bad for mom, but it's going to prioritize our original plans. Once I finally made up my mind, I turned around and went the way I had been walking. I started walking towards Hime's mansion, which was in the opposite direction from my own house. For now, when I get to Hime's house, I call mom and explain what's going on. That way mom won't worry and Hime won't cry. Yeah, that's fine, I nodded to myself and quickened my pace. I hope she...
スバルお兄ちゃん、入って入って。
Damn, this mansion is something else. Excuse me for intruding. Hime invited me into her room as usual, but I was a little nervous and my voice was cracking slightly. Hime's house was a huge mansion, just as I had expected. I walked a long corridor to get to this room. I never imagined she lived in such a magnificent house. Hime really is a young lady from a wealthy family. Impressed that she had known this all along, I naturally found myself following Hime with my eyes. I used to laugh when she didn't know about juice vending machines, but it makes sense considering she's a young lady from a family like that. I mean, is it really okay for kids who live in a house like this to be playing in abandoned factories?
どうしたのそんな顔して。早く座って。
That's a really big house. How many rooms does it have?
お、数えたことない。
See. That's amazing. When you become truly rich, do you lose track of how many rooms there are in your house? Come to think of it, fuck you. I remember you saying something like only ordinary people carry wallets, but seeing this house makes me understand why.
どうしたの？さっきからずっとキョロキョロしてるけど。
Well, I was wondering where Hime's family is. Given how spacious this house is, looking around Hime's room, you wouldn't think there were any family members here. But it's just a habit, I guess. I still find myself glancing around.
Huh.
Wait, did I just ask something wrong? Hime reacted softly to the word family. Her expression seemed to cloud over slightly. Perhaps that was a topic I shouldn't have touched upon.
そんなことないよ。お父さんはオーストラリアに出張中で。
I have a feeling that that's kind of a lie.
それからお昼のお手伝いさんは1時間ほど前に帰って。
Lunch helper?
夜のお手伝いさんはまだ2時間ほど来ないの。
So that means we are the only ones in this huge mansion right now. I'm a little surprised that there's a father and a housekeeper, but I'm even more surprised that it's just the two of us. Being alone with him in such a huge mansion, I'm starting to feel a different kind of tension than before.
それがどうしたの？
Not really, or nothing, probably. This is probably just how Hime normally is. I judge that from the way she answers so casually. I'm the only one who's conscious of it. My heart's been pounding for a while now. I need to calm down a bit first.
スバルお兄ちゃんのどこわかんない？
No, yeah.
だからどっちだよ。
I'm thirsty. I'm really thirsty.
じゃあジュースでいいよね。
Yeah. Hime leaves the room, saying she will get some drinks. At the same time, I let out a big sigh. Fucking shit, why did this happen? I just try to calm down, but look at me panicking. I feel really uncool. I need to do something about this strange tension before Hime comes back. Even though we talk all the time, the conversation has been awkward lately. So I try to find a topic of conversation to fill the silence. The topic... Oh, that's right, now that I think about it. Why was I invited today? Maybe it has some meanings, so I'll ask about it then. As I was... you were like using Bolt out there. As I was having the internal monologue, I heard the sound of slippers getting closer.
お待ちどうさ
Hime enters the room with a cheerful voice. I see she's carrying a tray with 2 glasses on it. There was juice in the glass, but it had been sloshing around for a while now, looking like it was about to spill. Are you alright? You are really wobbly.
ま。大丈夫だよ。
Hime answers confidently, but the cups continue to clink as she speaks. No matter how you look at it, it's not okay, Hime. Have you ever carried a tray before?
バカにしないでよ。そんなこともちろん。
Do you have one? What?
あれどうだっけ？
Is that something I have to think about? Hime suddenly tilted her head, looking bewildered. I couldn't help but blurt out a retort. Phew, this is probably the first time I ever carried juice on a she's ever carried juice on a tray. Well, on the hand, with that thought, I quickly stood up. I'll help.
いいよ、お兄ちゃんは座ってて。
That's not going to work. Just leave this to me. I understand Hime's desire to do it herself, but I can't stand to watch her act so recklessly anymore. I somewhat forcefully took the tray from Hime's hand and tried to place the cup on the table myself, but...
ダメだよ。
Hime, determined to not let me, grabbed my hand. Naturally, the outcome was...
スバルお兄ちゃんのズボンにジュースが。
Hime's skirt is all soaked with juice too. And as you might expect, in a rather cliché turn of events, Hime and I end up covered in sticky juice.
どうすればいいの？
You have to take it off and wash it quickly. If you leave it like that, it will stay and won't come out.
わかった。脱ぐ。じゃあお兄ちゃん、お風呂に入ろう。
What the fuck? Don't make this a lolly route. I did not sign up for that shit. I started to reply impulsively, but then realized something was wrong. I did tell her to take her clothes off and do the laundry quickly, but I never said a word about taking a bath. And it even seems like I'm going to take a bath with Hime. This is definitely not right, yeah. Even as I was thinking that, Hime grabbed my hand and dragged me away in the direction where I thought the bath was located. Surely they are not going to take a bath together. We are not going to take a bath together, right?
お兄ちゃん、湯加減ちょうどいい？
That's fine, but... Yeah, I knew this would happen. I'm going to blur this out. After that, him and I took off our dirty clothes, threw them in the washing machine and went into the restroom. Of course, I said we should go separately, not together, but Hime wouldn't budge, insisting that it had to be just the two of us. If I left it as it was, it would become a complete stain, so in the end, I did as Hime told me to. Even so, I can't carry a tray at all, but I can heat up a bath just fine.
お盆のことはもう言わないで。
I see, sorry. In the spacious restroom, Hime and I were having a lively conversation about the juice we spilled earlier. I should have been more embarrassed in the bath than in my room, but for some reason I was able to talk more normally than before. I guess she must have finally gotten over a lot of things.
姫はお風呂は大好きだもの。1日に4回入ってるよ。
4 times? Come on, that's more than the number of meals you eat. I mean, you don't have time to go in 4 times a day, do you? Even though I was thinking that, I started to think about Hime's bath schedule. First, there's the morning rush, then the morning rush, then the morning rush after school, and then the morning rush before bed. Wait, what? Yeah. And where do I get in one more time? Actually, 3 times is already too many.
私も体洗い終わったらすぐお風呂に入るからね。
Yes, I'm going with Hime. Right now, I'm the only one soaking in the hot water, but Hime is going to come in. That's a bit of a stretch, but at this point, it's practically the same thing.
だって姫はお兄ちゃんと一緒にお風呂に入りたいんだもん。これって別に変なことじゃないでしょ？
It's not that it's weird, but... No, I think that's definitely weird. I gave a reply that matched Hime's, but in my heart I was muttering to myself. If I were to invite Mikone and Kyo to take a bath with me because I want to join you, I'd definitely get yelled at. If it were Kyo, I don't know what he'd say.
じゃあもうすぐだから待っててね。
Wait, but if you don't hurry up, I think I'll get dizzy.
お兄ちゃん男の子なんだからそれくらい我慢しなさい。
Yeah, I try. For some reason, Hime scolded me. Do I really not have the right to refuse? Even so. Putting aside how this came about, it's been a long time since I've taken a bath with someone. I haven't taken a bath with my mom in years, and my dad never comes home at that time. I wonder how long it's been.
お兄ちゃんどうしたの？ぼーっとしているけど。のぼせそうなの？
After a while I was lost in thought, Hime, who mistakenly thought I was feeling dizzy, called out to me. No, I'm still okay. I try to make sure Hime doesn't get overly excited so that she doesn't worry. Wait, Big Brother?
お兄ちゃん
I remember now. I took a bath with Kotori. It was several years ago, but it happened. Even when I said I wanted to take a bath alone, Kotori would sometimes force her way in with me. I don't know what the other siblings were like, but Kotori was always clinging to me. Kotori always followed me closely, always sitting right beside me. Yes, I had a lovely little sister. Kotori. Why did she have to die? Sorry, I'm going to head up now.
どうしたの？姫まだ体洗ってるのに。
Hime was surprised to see me suddenly stand up. Well, I think I'd be surprised too if I were in her position. But I couldn't stay in the bath with Hime any longer. Suddenly memories of Kotori came flooding back, and I heard Kotori's voice calling my name echoing in my head. Kotori. In the midst of the agonizing pain that gripped my chest, I uttered the name of my only precious sister. And as I whispered Kotori's name, for some reason I felt incredibly sad. Before I knew it, tears were streaming from both my eyes. No, I can't cry here and now. Is it because she doesn't want to worry? Is it because I doesn't want to worry Hime? Or is it simply because I doesn't want her to see me crying? Which reason is it? Or neither? I couldn't understand any of it, and my head was a mess. Before I knew it, I had left Hime behind and hurriedly rushed out of the restroom. Or the bathroom. Then I opened the washing machine, which is still running. I put on the clothes that have just started to spin dry. Wet clothes were really hard to put on, and they were sticky and quite unpleasant. I put on my clothes without a second thought and ran out of Hime's house. Why so suddenly? Yet I kept muttering to myself. Before I knew it, the sky had turned completely red. Even the sunsets that I usually find beautiful looked incredibly sad and lonely to me right now. Bathed in that sad and lonely sunset, I hurried home to my mother, who was waiting for me. What should I do? I wonder if Mom is angry. That's all I've been thinking about ever since I ran into Hime's house. In the end, I didn't get to play properly with Hime, and I couldn't keep my promise to go shopping with my mother. Damn it! Unlike when I remembered Kotori, a single tear of frustration rolled down my cheek. I happened to look over, and there was the setting sun, a bright red. The reason I seem somewhat unreliable is probably because of my own feelings. The next day. After school, Tom and I head to the abandoned factory. My steps were far from light, but I knew I had to go. And I have to apologize properly to him. With that resolve, I walked down the road leading to the abandoned factory.
昨日はどうしたの？
Yesterday?
あ、別に話さなくてもいいけど。
Sorry. Even though Tomo is usually very discreet, it takes a little courage to talk about what happened yesterday. It was full of really embarrassing things, and besides I still can't tell anyone that I took a bath with Hime. So I feel bad for Tomo, but I just apologized once and didn't say anything more. Tomo seemed to understand somehow, and she didn't say anything more about what happened yesterday. Hey, do you know anything about Hime's family? Tomo and I walked in silence for a while. I was the one who broke the silence.
うん、少しだけなら。
If you don't mind, could you tell me? Yesterday I was also curious about Hime's family. I decided to ask Tomo about it.
別にいいけど。
With that, Tomo tells me about Hime's family. Tomo said just a little, but this little is purely based on Tomo's standards. From my perspective, they knew so much about it that I was amazed they researched it that thoroughly. Hime's father is the famous businessman Shinji Himeji, who apparently spends most of the year overseas and rarely comes home. Traveling the world for work might sound cool, but I wonder how it feels for the family left behind. I understand that well because my father also has a unique job and is rarely home. Furthermore, Hime's mother had died of an illness quite some time ago, and she had been living alone in that mansion without any family. Maybe that's why. That's why they search for us so desperately, and why they so strongly desire to become part of our group. Thinking about it, my action yesterday might have hurt Hime quite a bit. In the end, I arrived at the abandoned factory, where our secret base was located, feeling dejected and alone. I wonder if Hime is here yet. How should I talk to her? I had decided to apologize properly, but now that I'm here, I'm suddenly feeling anxious again. Come on, just make up your mind already.
どうしたの？何かおかしいけど。
Is that so? Tomo appeared at my face with a worried expression. I must have looked pretty strange, but there was no point in worrying about it now. I gave up and headed into the abandoned factory. Knowing Hime, she might suddenly burst into tears the moment we meet. Yeah, in that case I try my best to appease them and apologize until they forgive me. That's the only thing I can do. It looks like we are the last ones to arrive here today. Kyoko, Mikone, and Hime. They were all already gathered at the abandoned factory. Oh, so we already know Mikone. You guys are late. Koto's already finished eating. Okay.
スバル、どうかしたのか？
No, it's nothing. The moment I joined the group, Koto was the first to look at me with a worried expression. I don't know myself, but I guess my emotions show on my face quite easily. When thinking about that, I glanced at him out of the corner of my eye. Hey,
うん。いいよ、
I'm sorry about yesterday.
気にしなくて。
I have a feeling that she cried. Hime?
いいの、私ほんと気にしてないから。
二人とも一体何の話してるんだよ。
It's nothing. In response to Kyo's question, which was perfectly understandable, I gave an answer that suggested there was definitely something going on. I doubt I can get them to accept it with a simple I see, like that.
ほんとなんでもないの。
なんでもなくないだろ。
Despite Hime's attempt to help, Kyo said this in a slightly angry tone. While it was obvious he was hiding something and his attempt at a cover-up was clumsy, of course Kyo would be angry.
二人とも昨日現れなかったからさ、つるんでどっか行ったんじゃないのか。
あ、
って図星か。
I never thought he hit it on the first try. Kyo was surprisingly sharp in situations like this. What should I do? I can't just stay silent here, but then what should I say? I'd rather not lie if possible, but it would also be strange to tell the truth here. In the end, I managed to avoid lying, but I cleverly concealed the parts that were difficult to talk about and explained things in a way that was appropriate. There were some pretty rough parts, but everyone was generally satisfied.
それじゃあいいかしら。
Just as I finished my explanation, Mikane spoke up to change the subject. It seems like they were going to decide what they were going to do together today.
今日はことちゃんにこの町のことについて教えましょう。
ちょっと待てよ。今日はみんなで遊ぶんじゃなかったのかよ。
Upon hearing Miko's suggestion, Kyo was the first to voice his dissatisfaction. However, as if she had anticipated such a reaction, Mikone countered Kyo.
遊んでばかりじゃことちゃんのためにならないと私は思うんだけど。私もみこ姉ちゃんに賛成。
And at this point, Tomo sides with Miko. Well, I kind of expected this.
そりゃオタクらは勉強大好き人間だろうけど。
そういう問題じゃないと思います。結局は何がことちゃんのためになるかを。
Interrupting Kyo, who was still listening, or listening his complaints, Mikone began to speak in a slightly firmer tone.
ち、わかったよ。
Then Kyo relented, almost as if surrendering, and reluctantly agreed. I'm sure Miko's words, it will be for Koto's benefit, were the deciding factor. Kyo usually picks fights with everyone, but he's incredibly weak when it comes to Koto. And so, today's plans changes from playing together to learning about this town. We left our secret base, the abandoned factory, and immediately began our actions as a group. Okay. This was like episode 4 is basically became non-existent after this. Okay. Why not? Yeah, and it continues where the Tomo route left off. It's kind of cool. The sky is clear, but the wind blowing is cold in December. In the midst of a season where a jacket is essential to go outside, I was heading to the Honey Cafe where Salina works part-time. Then we stopped by the shop on Shuttle Street, met up with Salina after her part-time job, and headed to the abandoned factory. This whole process was becoming a new habit for me. It's dangerous to leave her alone in the evening when there's a high chance of encountering a foreign god. It was Kyo's suggestion that sparked this habit. Even so, the passage of time really does change people a lot. 7 years ago back when everyone still carried Salina Hime. No. 7 years ago, back when everyone still called Salina Hime, Kyo and Salina argued almost every day. Kyo, who used to do such things, now makes comments that shows he cares about Salina. Not only that, his appearance changed, but perhaps Kyo is the only one who has changed the most in the last 7 years. I walked along the familiar path, lost in thought. The Honey Coffee shop was located away from the main street, but despite its location, it attracted a considerable number of customers. The shop's exterior is ordinary, and the taste and menu are also quite ordinary, so why is Cafe Honey a hidden gem? Well, it's obvious it will be the school's uniform. The uniforms at Cafe Honey are ridiculously revealing, making them irresistible to people with that kind of fetish. Of course, it wasn't a coincidence, it was a deliberate act. Salina was aware of the situation when she took the part-time job, but it was a somewhat complicated feeling to see her working at such a place.
いらっしゃいませ。
As soon as you enter the shop, you hear the bright and cheerful voice of the waitress. If that were all, it wouldn't be any different from a regular family restaurant, but this is still Cafe Honey after all. It's strange how when a girl wearing a revealing uniform says it, it sounds like a completely different thing.
Oh, Ando! ここだよ!
Fuck you, Amamiya, by the way. You became the worst character in this entire VN because of what you did in the last route. And of course, Amamiya is inside the shop. He must be some kind of fixture or equipment provided by Cafe Honey. If that's the case, then it's a dramatically useless piece of equipment. While thinking such rude thoughts that I couldn't tell anyone but Amamiya, I sat down in the seat opposite Hime as if nothing had happened. But you really look so much more lively here than you do at school.
当たり前だろ。学校なんかと比べたら喫茶ハニーの皆さんに失礼だろ。
Why aren't you trying so hard? I was scolded so sternly by Amamiya that I couldn't help but think such things. But the next moment, Amamiya returns to his usual familiar self, with narrow eyes and a smirking face. Yeah, they really look lively.
それにしても今日のサリナちゃんはいつもにも増して可愛いよな。
He stares at Salina, who is taking orders at another table with a leering gaze, or something very close to it. It's like she's been doing it for years, or rather she does it so naturally and confidently it's amazing. But it's clearly a prison sentence. What?
今日の店パンティはいつも以上に小股に切れ上がってるな。
Your sense of style is that of a 40-year-old. Also, you are using words incorrectly.
何を言ってるんだい、安藤君。
Before I could explain the correct way to use the expression to have a sharp, defined gait, Amamiya interrupted me. In the irritatingly brisk tone of a class model student.
サリナちゃんはここでバイトしているときはお客さんみんなの共有財産なんだ。
He then made another insane, crazy statement. I looked at Amamiya with a dramatically cold gaze, as if he were a toilet cricket.
彼女をどんな横島な視線で見つめたってお前にあれこれ言われる筋合いはないね。
Wow. What should I do? He said he has no right to do that. His defiance is scary, and Amamiya is gross.
まあ分かっていると思うけど、この店に来ている客の大半は好みのウェイトレスを眺めながら頭の中であれこれ妄想をしながらコーヒーをちびちびと飲んでるんだ。
Hey, Amamiya?
なんだよ。
Stop there. You are on the verge of getting sick yourself.
心配しないでくれ。俺は脳内とリアルの区別はちゃんとついてる。
It must be tough when you don't have any noticeable symptoms. While I was feeling sorry for Amamiya, whose end was not far off, Salina, who was serving another customer, noticed us.
やった!俺サリナちゃんと目が合った!
I told you it wasn't you. I muttered it weakly and let out a deep sigh. What is this narrow-eyed, no, slit-eyed guy talking about?
ご注文をどうぞ。
Then Salina stood in front of our table to take our order. Her tone was completely in sales mode. My usual coffee.
はいはい。コーヒーですね。
Salina gave a small bow and then left her seat. She seems like a little unfriendly, but apparently some customers like that about her. It's a word I don't really understand.
お前サリナちゃんがバイト終わったらいつも一緒に帰ってるだろう。
As I was lost in thought about the unknown word, Amamiya asked me a question. That is, I was caught off guard and the question was quite insightful, making me flinch for a moment. Well, if she comes to pick her up every day like that, it's bound to get noticed. No, if I... Besides, the guy is Amamiya, Besides, Amamiya is a potential stalker. No, wait, did you follow me? If even my destination has been discovered, then no matter how important Amamiya is, some kind of countermeasure will have to be taken.
いやーたまたま見かけただけなんだけど。
However, fortunately, Amamiya's answer was the kind that could be dismissed as mere coincidence. Oh, I see. Well, things have been pretty dangerous lately, but I don't think something like that is a problem, right? When the conversation turns to this topic, I naturally adopt a slightly more serious tone. It would be troublesome if someone followed me out of curiosity and saw me going in and out of the abandoned factory. That's what I thought, and I looked at Amamiya with a slightly wary gaze. This guy has a lot of unnecessary energy.
ちょっと待て。俺は一緒に帰っちゃダメなんて一言も言ってないよ。
Huh? Taken aback by the unexpected words, I instinctively asked for clarification. Wait, am I burning with envy and jealousy?
しかしな、これだけははっきりさせたい。
Saying that, Amamiya turned a sharp gaze towards me.
全国50万のサリネちゃんファンの嫉妬の塊がお前の双肩にぶら下がっているということをな。
Yes?
彼女を大事にしろ。
Amamiya. Well, the motive is pretty insignificant, but you can actually say some surprisingly sensible things.
それと進展があったら逐一俺に教えてくれ。それがまた俺を興奮させるんだ。
You should just die. Yeah, thank God. This is what I wanted you to say in the Tomo route. Die, Amamiya. Die as many times as there are stars in the sky. Yeah, don't hold back on him. I was a fool to think I had a good friend, even for a moment. Yes, tell him. And now there's an even bigger fool standing in front of me. Yes. Amamiya seems to be speeding down the path of perversion at full burst speed, and it looks like he's going to go off into the distance endlessly. As I watched that guy who looked like he was about to go off somewhere, I let out a deep, deep sigh. She's still not here, Salina. I was planning to wait for Salina to come out the back entrance, and then we would head to the abandoned factory after we met up. In the end, I continued talking about pointless things with Amamiya, even after that. Sensing the mood, she got up first and said, if anything sexual happens today, contact me immediately before leaving. Or I got up first. No, you are completely oblivious to the atmosphere. I take back what I said earlier. Amamiya was terrifyingly oblivious to the atmosphere. Does you really think this will turn out that way? Certainly, to a fan of Salina like Amamiya, I must be someone to be very envious of. Even now, it almost looks like they are waiting for Salina's part-time job to finish so they can go on a date together. However, the fantasies that Amamiya has been letting his imagination run wild are almost entirely different from our actual relationship. Because the place we are heading to isn't a shop that couples go to. It's an abandoned factory.
お待たせ。
Ah, good work. At the same time, as always, the back door opened, and Salina appeared, having changed into her casual clothes. Even Salina would probably find it completely inappropriate to wander around town in that uniform. She probably wouldn't like it. Considering that, it makes you wonder what's up with Mikone wandering around town in her work clothes.
あんたも暇よね。毎日こんなところで待ってるなんて。
Well, Kyo told me to do it. I feel like that this route is eventually going to come down to idol culture and how she did not really have a family to be there for her, and that's why she she's like, has been put out to child neglect or some shit. Of course, that's not the only reason, but it's embarrassing to say I'm worried about Salina to her face. That's why I said it this way.
言われたから迎えに来てるんだ。
Salina apparently wasn't happy about that. Well, that's certainly true, but of course there are some aspects that aren't like that. Salina's face and voice suddenly turned solid, so I passively tried to offer some kind of reassurance. But the words that came out were so awkward and hesitant that even I thought this isn't right. And so Salina also pointed it out.
別に嫌なら明日から来なくても。
What the fuck was that? Was that a fart sound effect or was that like hungry? Salina, are you that wasn't your stomach, bitch. Like, don't try to gaslight me. In the midst of the increasingly tense atmosphere, a rather silly rumbling sound from someone's stomach rang out. Well, I've been working part-time until now. No, well, she's been working part-time until now, so she's probably hungry.
そんなわけないでしょ。
That's not hunger, bitch. A denial followed by an immediate denial. But no matter how much Salina says it's not true, her stomach tells the truth. I don't think there's any need to pretend to be strong. Hey, you work part-time at a coffee shop, so why don't you just grab some cake from the shop?
あんたバカでしょ。
What the fuck is this face expression? Whenever I casually blurt out something, I get a pretty confrontational response. You don't have to go that far.
そんなことしたら明日から失業しちゃうじゃない。
Unemployment, that's a pretty harsh word. Surely you wouldn't get fired for something like that. From stealing from the exact shop you are serving at? Yeah, I don't see why would you get fired, you fucking awful MC. Oh well, if I touch upon that, it will just get complicated again. That's what I thought, and I made a suggestion to satisfy Salina's hunger. Well, I guess we have no choice. Let's grab something to eat.
は？何いきなり。
You said you wanted to eat crepes the other day, right?
それがどうしたっていうのよ。
Still not being honest. You should just go along with it and say something like, oh, that's nice. And then, unexpectedly, she said, so what? That's an incredibly dismissive way of putting someone off seriously. Well, I'm starting to feel like eating a crepe too.
そう。
That looks delicious. White cream, sweet fruits, and soft dough wrapping it all up. Should the topping be chocolate chips or cream cheese? A sweet and sour blueberry sauce would be nice too.
あんたね、いい加減にしなさいよ。
They should have used a different suffix because that does not sound like hunger, bitch. As I described how delicious the crepes were, like a food critic, Salina's stomach immediately started rumbling. Yeah, that wasn't it. Actually, Salina is pretty simple-minded, and on top of that, she's stubborn, which makes her even more difficult to deal with. What's wrong, Salina? Are you hungry after all?
なんでもないわ。さっさとみんなのところに行くわよ。
Salina abruptly cut off the conversation and walked away, saying that as she went. Seriously, that's pushy. Watching Salina move further and further away, she muttered with a dry smile. 7 years is a really long time, and so many things have changed. Of course, Salina has also changed a lot. She used to be so bad she couldn't even carry a tray properly, but now she's working as a waitress in a coffee shop. It's also at a shop that you can't really call ordinary, and without taking many days off, it's almost like every day. I can't possibly believe that the clumsy one who always stuck around me is the same person as that Hime. Rather. By the way, why is the young lady Salina working a part-time job? If you think about it, normally she shouldn't be having money problems. I heard before something about issues with getting along with parents, but I have no idea how credible that story is. Come to think of it, fuck Fuck you. There are so many things I don't know about Salina. It seems that I needed to get to know her better. Hey, Salina, it's fine to walk quickly, but this isn't an abandoned factory, you know? Chasing after Salina, who started walking ahead, I followed behind her for a few minutes. I had been worrying about whether or not to say it, and I speak up about the path I am on. There's no way I've taken a wrong turn on the way to the abandoned factory, but I wonder. Ahead is a crepe shop.
ちょっと間違っただけよ。
Wow, Salina really took the wrong way. Didn't you want to, grab a crepe after all? While I internally made that sharp remark, I avoided touching on it, deliberately steering clear of a troublesome development. More than that, I was thinking about what to feed Harapeko-san. What the fuck? Who was right in front of me? Sorry, I said it earlier, but I'm not in the mood for crepes right now. You are a bitch, bro. Like, stop gaslighting her.
だから間違っただけって言ってるじゃない。人の話くらい聞きなさいよ。
I throw those words right back at you. I held back the urge to say that and began to propose a new idea to replace the crepe. You're probably going to pick a fight about this too, though. Or she. Was it near the entrance of Shuttle Street? It seems a new taiyaki shop has opened.
それがどうしたのよ。
Shall we go eat? In response to my question, Salina's stomach reacts before her mouth does. That was an instant answer too. How hungry are you?
あんたがどうしても食べたいって言うなら付き合ってあげてもいいわよ。
Yeah, she really is a tsundere. I was so oblivious by the way that she wasn't it, but she is. Even saying it while your stomach is growing doesn't make it convincing at all.
うるさいわね。
Salina's specialty, a cliched way of hiding her embarrassment. Well, it's interesting to watch and emotions are easy to read, so I think it's pretty okay from my perspective. Sorry about that, I was hungry too. I treat you, so let's eat together.
それならそうと最初から言いなさいよね。
It must be delicious, that crispy tail and the slightly warm red bean paste wrapped inside. You really love to use this as a fix game. Just like with the crepe earlier, sweet words of temptation are highly effective, this time as well. Even though she was still in the middle of talking, Salina's stomach growled. I wonder how many times it growled in total.
無駄口叩いてないで行くわよ。
Having said that, Salina went ahead alone. Hey, running just makes you hungrier. Whether she can hear me is uncertain, but I direct those words over Salina's back. In this way, Salina and I decided to make a slight detour before heading to the abandoned factory in search of taiyaki. I hadn't had a chance to buy snacks for a while, so I was a little excited. I'd be happy if Salina felt the same way. When I went close to the entrance of Shuttle Street, I quickly found the taiyaki shop I was looking for. Perhaps because the store had just opened, a fairly large number of customers were lined up. According to what I heard from Mamma Mia, the way it is grilled and its sweetness are exquisite, and it seems to be quickly becoming a popular spot. Salina, what do you want to eat? I pointed the menu in front of the shop and asked Salina, who has been hungry since a while ago.
たい焼き。
No, that's not it. There are various kinds of taiyaki, you know.
じゃあ一番安いたい焼き。
See, got it. Wait, they are all the same price.
そうなの？
regardless of the contents, everything has the same price, so Selena, pick whatever you like from here. I said that and pointed at the menu, letting Selena decide which type of taiyaki she wanted to eat. And Selena stared intensely at the pictures on the menu. She wore a serious expression that she usually didn't show. The taiyaki in the photo probably never expected to be stared at this much. Selena's gaze was so sharp and serious that I couldn't help but think about such things. You don't have to worry so much. If you want, do you want to try buying a few different kinds that catch your eye?
ダメよ。今真剣に考えてるんだから、ちょっと黙ってて。
Yes. I thought I made a reasonable suggestion, but for some reason, Selena is a bitch. Today I seem to be attracting a lot of unreasonable anger.
つぶあん。
For all that worrying, it's pretty normal.
別にいいでしょ。
After thinking for a while, Selena chose the simple red bean paste. Well, when it comes to taiyaki, this is the classic, but Selena really goes for surprisingly supple spots. It looks like you were thinking quite a lot which flavor were you struggling to choose.
いちごクリーム。
I see. Then I guess I go with that. I will give you a different kind of strawberry cream if you know. Selena shows such an easily readable reaction of surprise. Somehow it feels like I'm not supposed to order the strawberry cream. Do you perhaps really think so? From Selena's perspective, it might look like I snatched the last remaining candidate away from her. And then I rave about the strawberry cream taiyaki, making Selena frustrated. Perhaps I might already be imagining given that kind of flow at this very moment. Yeah, that's possible, and that misunderstanding, that distortion is really bad. Don't get the wrong idea, okay? I'm saying we should split it and eat it together. Before Selena comes at me, I firmly convey my own thoughts. It seems that Selena was convinced as well.
そうね。
Saying that, she nodded slightly. Phew, that was close to becoming a troublesome situation. And so Selena and I decided what to order. Since it was just my turn, I went ahead and spoke to the taiyaki shop owner. The taiyaki I ordered was handed to me immediately, and I left the shop holding the steaming paper bag. Was it okay with just one taiyaki?
前にも言ったでしょ。贅沢は敵なの。
Saying that one taiyaki is a luxury. In response to Selena's somewhat exaggerated opinion, I couldn't help but let out words of objection. By the time I realized, oh no, it was already too late, and I was met with a sharp gaze from Selena.
ダメよ。たい焼きだって甘く見たら。
Bro, what on earth are you talking about? That's the first I heard of such a story. What is that? The taiyaki shop suddenly becoming super profitable?
とにかく今はたい焼き一つが命取りなの。贅沢なの。
Okay, so calm down. For the time being, after calming Selena, I tried the raising question I had been wondering about a little. But you know, you said the same thing when we went to the crepe shop before, so why is it such a big deal to indulge a little?
忘れてって言ったのに。そういうのは覚えてるのね。
It's precisely those kind of things that I remember well. If someone told me to forget it, would make it even worse. If anything, it might be more accurate to say that I ended up remembering it in the process of trying to get to know Selena.
別に理由はいいでしょ。おごってもらってるんだし。
But having no toppings on a crepe... I remember the interaction at the crepe shop where I went to eat with Selena before. Even at that time, Selena prioritized price over taste and ordered the cheapest crepe.
トッピングなんていちいち選んでたらあっという間に倍の値段になるわよ。そうなったらスバルも困るでしょ。
Well, that would certainly be troublesome. Of course, the less money you have to spend, the better. But to the point of cutting back even no expenses of a few hundred yen. There's some reason, right? Thinking that way, I tried to listen more, but Selena seemed to want to end this conversation already.
ほら、分かったらさっさとたい焼き食べなさいよ。冷めるともったいないわ。
Selena said that and encouraged me to eat it while it was still warm. But it seemed as if she was deliberately trying to change the subject so as not to dig up the conversation from earlier. Yeah, so Selena, do you want to eat half of the strawberry cream?
そうね。少し気になるわ。
Look, it's sweet, fluffy, and delicious.
じゃあ、少しだけ。
As soon as it was handed in front of her, Selena chomped down on the taiyaki. As expected from a flavor that was agonized over until the last minute, I fully enjoyed the strawberry cream flavored taiyaki without holding back. So how is it? Does it taste good?
うん。粒あんとはまた違った。
Huh? What's wrong? Is it some kind of an indirect kiss, or why are you blushing? Remaining silent, Selena gradually blushes this time. It doesn't seem like she's choking or anything. But then, what on earth happened? While thinking about something like that, I directed my gaze to the taiyaki I was holding. Two sets of bite marks, one large and one small. On the half-eaten taiyaki, only after seeing that did I finally understand. Indirect kiss. Selena bit into my taiyaki just like that. In other words, she ended up having an indirect kiss with me. Well, there's probably no need to be conscious of it that much. That's the kind of way I was thinking about it casually.
何よ。
No, it's nothing. Selena was clearly and very unconsciously embarrassed by the idea of an indirect kiss. Hey, you're not a middle schooler. Somehow eating taiyaki has made me thirsty. By the time Selena's innocent reaction had mostly settled down, I expressed my thirst.
そうね。
This is very slice of life so far. Like, I feel like I've been yapping about nothing but taiyaki for 40 minutes. It seems that Selena felt the same way as she nodded honestly. I go buy you something to drink.
さすがにこれ以上おごってもらうわけにはいかないわ。
Selena said that and refused to let me pay for her drink. As for me, I don't really mind something like that. Then, shall we go buy it together? Well, since she herself says so, it can be had. I said that and suggested that the two of us go buy it together. And the two of us stand on the side of the shopping street, coming all the way to a vending machine. This is called a vending machine, you see.
それくらい知ってるわよ。
Do you know how to buy from it?
あなた、私のことバカにしてるでしょ。
This is the cringiest sprite, by the way. Selena said that and glared at me sharply. For me, when it comes to Selena, the image that stood out the most was from the time before she knew about vending machines. So I said it with the intention of being kind, but it seems that not the slightest bit of my feelings was conveyed. Welcome, a vending machine says. Welcome, may I have your order number? What's wrong?
自動販売機が喋ったわよ。
Lately they all talk.
それくらい知ってるわよ。
Didn't you flinch in surprise even though she said you know? I think such things, but I deliberately choose not to speak them aloud. But the bravado only lasted this long. Her movements quickly came to a halt, and Sanina's gaze wandered through the air. It seems like you still don't know much about vending machines. It seems like their personality has changed quite a bit, but it was a bit funny that this part hasn't changed. The vending machine that Salina is currently playing a staring contest with is the type where you press the number written on the panel. Unlike traditional juices, which have buttons lined up below, it might indeed feel a little strange. What's wrong? Don't you know how to buy it? You just choose normally and press it. It's simple, right?
そうね。
While answering like that, Salina still had a troubled expression and stared intently at the vending machine. And after a while, I pressed the number tag right next to the juice firmly.
出てこないじゃない。
Of course, since it's not a button, juice doesn't come out. Selena glared at me sharply again, venting her frustration at things not going the way she wanted. Unfortunately, that's not the place to press. There's a panel at the bottom, right? You enter the number of the juice there.
ジュースの番号？
That's the one Selena pushed with all her strength earlier. If you don't press the button quickly, the latest model will just take your money, you know.
それくらい知ってるわよ。バカにしないで。
No, you shouldn't know that. Or, I mean, there's no way that's true. Watching Selena enter the number, I made that kind of comment in my mind. And after a great struggle, Selena finally succeeded in buying the juice. Thank you very much. That's good, you managed to buy the juice safely. Well, it took a lot of time, but Selena somehow managed to get the juice. I, for the time being, call out to Selena without any joking elements.
慌てて選んだから間違ったじゃないの。
It seems that the juice Selena is holding now is not the one she chose because she wanted to drink it. I see, I panicked because of the time limit I had given as a lie. Sorry, Selena, Sorry, Selena, the truth is, there's no way you would just get your money taken.
私のこと騙したわね。
I never thought you would believe me.
最低。
Sorry about that, I drank it, so I buy a replacement for you.
当たり前でしょ。
Which one do you want?
じゃあ、アップルジュース。
I understand. I was unfairly blamed by Selena and forced to exchange the juice I had chosen by mistake. Sure, I'm definitely at fault too, but, you know, way too little about a lot of things. But she knows way too little about a lot of things. And so Selena and I take a little detour before heading towards the bandit factory where everyone is waiting. In the shopping streets, shops that put up Christmas decorations had also begun to appear here and there.
ねえ、スバル。
What's wrong?
もう少しでクリスマスよね。
That's right.
クリスマスの日って雪降ったりするのかな。
I wonder how things will go this year.
なんかそういうのっていいわよね。
White Christmas. It's quite rude to say unusually, but Selena suddenly says something girly. After all, at events like this, all the girls probably like them.
うん、それもそうなんだけど、寒い時期にやる方がクリスマスっていう雰囲気あるじゃない？
Huh? What does that mean? I raised a question mark at Selina's casual remark. It was here that I first heard that Selina had been in Australia until last year. 7 years ago, after we grew distant from each other, Selina apparently moved to Australia due to her father's job. And this spring, it is said that they returned to Japan on the occasion of advancing their studies. No wonder I haven't met Selina even once in these 7 years. I see, so Selina had been in Australia all this time.
うん。だから冬にするクリスマスって7年ぶりだわ。
I had no idea. I feel a bit shocked. I don't know how to say this, but I can't believe that I didn't even notice that Selina wasn't in Japan. Well, I guess it can be helped if you say it can be helped. Since 7 years ago, I hardly ever saw any of the members except Tomo. That Kyo had changed so much, and that Miko-Nisan still wears her usual clothes as a priestess even now. It's not surprising if you didn't know that Selina hadn't gone to Australia.
どうしたの？
No, it's nothing. Selina didn't seem particularly concerned and was watching me with a curious expression. In that case, I'll also act normally in front of Selina for now. I can secretly feel down later when I'm alone. Even so, Australia, if I remember correctly, the seasons there are opposite to Japan's. While switching my mind, I try saying it out like that. If you live in Japan for a long time, you can't think of Christmas as anything other than winter. But since Australia, where Selina lived, is in the southern hemisphere, December falls right in the middle of summer. I wonder what a midsummer Christmas would be like. I once saw a commercial with Santa surfing, but does he really do something like that?
そうね。海に行くとトナカイの代わりに水上スキーに乗ってるわよ。雰囲気ぶち壊しよね。
That's true. As expected, water skiing totally ruins the original setting and completely destroys the atmosphere. But you know, Selina, if I may say one thing, Santa rides in a sleigh, not on a reindeer. I straddled the reindeer and couldn't help but imagine Santa Claus like a horse racing jockey. Speaking of which, what about the Santa outfit? Do you wear the same clothes even if it's hot?
あなたの知ってるものと変わらないと思うわ。あの赤いコートにヒゲよ。毎年そんな格好で海に来るもんで、何人も熱射病で倒れたり、海に落ちて溺れたり。
I'm already mad at this road because she gets more screen time than Tomo did. Where is the justice when it's needed? Like, we are talking about crappies, summer Santas, and we are not really going anywhere. Well, of course, I wouldn't want to see a bear all sweaty and sticky.
だから、私はこっちのクリスマスのが好きかな。
I see. So, shall we all get together and have a party this Christmas?
そうね。
Selina relaxed her mouth and muttered this in a calm tone. However, her words contained something close to resignation. This Christmas, for the first time in 7 years, it will be with my friends. If possible, I want to have fun and make noise with everyone too. But considering the current situation, we can't afford to say that. Honestly, we probably don't have time to celebrate Christmas. For now, the foreign gods are lying low, but we don't know when they might start acting actively again. So we are also can't let our guard down and must always be prepared for the enemy's appearance. And just as I said that...
すげえ。なんだよこれ。こいつはスクープだ。とにかく取りまくるんだ。やべえ。ここまで来れば大丈夫だろう。
しかしカメラに映ったあれ一体何だったんだ。
知りたいか。
なんだお前。
Blood Moon. Wow, 3 days have passed.
こんな季節に全裸になって池で泳ぐ人間なんていないだろ
お言葉ですが、神谷警部、自分の生まれ故郷には真冬に裸祭りというのがありまして、大の大人がふんどし一丁で川に入りまして、お互い水をかけ合うという。
な、ここは君の田舎とは違うんだ。とにかく服の持ち主を洗ってくれ。何不満そうな顔してるんだ。さっさと持ち場に戻れ。
はい、失礼いたします。
しかし今年も正月なさそうだな。
Today, as usual, I head to Cafe Honey, where Salina is before going to the abandoned factory. You never even went there.
お帰りなさいませ、ご主人様。
You're the last one who should be saying that. And then I meet Amamiya, who is becoming completely inseparable from Cafe Honey, and we exchange a joke and a retort as a form of greeting. By now it felt like it was almost a given, or rather that it was just the way things were. Yeah, this is wrong. Definitely something's off, especially around the Amamiya area.
いいだろう、サリナちゃんはそこまで言ってくれないんだし。
Sure, Salina probably wouldn't say master. I mean, this shop isn't exactly a maid cafe anyway.
しかし今日もサリナちゃんが上がる15分前到着か。無駄のない動きだな。
You're noisy. Amamiya's narrow eyes flashed, and they changed into his usual suspicious smile. He really makes sure to notice just stuff like this.
ご注文をどうぞ。
Well then, the usual... It was when I tried to order coffee as usual. The sound of a ringing phone echoed throughout the store. That sound was neither mine nor Amamiya's.
サリナちゃんの携帯だよ。
When Amamiya called her name, Salina was clearly upset. They probably have to turn off their phone while working part-time.
サリナちゃん、携帯出ていいよ。俺が許す。
Hey, what are you saying on your own like that? No, it's not like I'm the one who can forgive you. And why are you speaking in such a slightly arrogant tone anyway? I tried to caution Amamiya about such behavior, but I am immediately contradicted.
アンド、お前こそ周りを見てみろ。客は俺たち二人っきりだ。だから俺たちがいいと言えば何でも OK なんだよ。
Amamiya's logic, while somewhat makeshift, does hold up. It's true that it doesn't bother anyone, so maybe it's fine after all.
でもお店のルールでお仕事中に使用の電話は。
使用かどうかなんて出てみないとわからないだろ。とにかく出てみなって。
Amamiya forcefully encourages her to answer the phone. It would be troublesome if it were always like this, but right now the pushiness was necessary. Salina, in a way, as if being pushed by Amamiya's strong tone, takes out her phone, but... The moment Salina laid eyes on the display, she froze with an expression of disbelief. What's wrong? Judging from the reaction, the person on the phone is someone unexpected for Salina. Is it from someone very important, or is it from someone I don't want to receive a call from?
失礼します。
Salina, not noticing the hand I reached out to ask her to wait a moment, said just that and disappeared into the back of the store.
レストルームに引っ込んじゃったよ。
I silently stared into the direction where Selena disappeared. It might actually be the first time I see Selena get so flustered.
お前が余計なこと言うからだぞ。
I hardly said anything. I mean, up until just now, you were the one talking the most in our conversation, Amamiya, weren't you? I muttered that in my heart, but I didn't feel the slightest urge to blame Amamiya. It's true that it was Amamiya who strongly advised her to answer the phone, but that probably wasn't the direct cause of Selena panicking. So that means the cause is after all the person on the other end of the phone, huh? Just who is it? I try to think about who the person on the phone might be in my own way. Frustratingly, it comes to a halt immediately. If I knew more about Selena, if I had many ideas among friends and acquaintances... After all, I still don't know anything about Selena. The incident with this phone made me painfully realize it. A few hours later, I was waiting for Selena to finish her part-time job. In the end, Selena didn't show up for a while after that, and even when she did come back, she never came over to our table.
ごめん、後片付けで遅くなっちゃった。
As she said that, Selena emerged from the back door of the store. I glanced at the clock and saw that she was about 10 minutes later than usual. Selena explained that she had been doing the closing duties, but the moment I saw her face, I knew she was lying. Selena's face still clearly showed the signs of having cried, and it looked like it hadn't been that long since she stopped. It's fine, let's go.
ええ。
I decided to wait a bit and ask her about it when she had calmed down, so I started walking at a slower pace than usual. I wanted to ask her before we arrived at the abandoned factory while it was just the two of us. We walked in silence, not saying a word to each other, as we made our way through the shopping district. But after walking for a bit, the tension had eased enough that we would manage some small talk. If we could talk normally like this, maybe it was okay to ask her about the phone call. Hey, about that phone call. Who was that call from earlier?
あなたには関係ない話よ。
Damn! Okay. Her tone made it clear she had no intention of answering, and Selena's words were laced with a hint of dismissal. I had expected as much, but that didn't mean I was going to give up. I decided to press on, trying to get her to open up. But Selena, come on.
関係ないって言ってるでしょ。
You can't deal with a tsundere, give it up. Her tone was even sharper than before, and her words were laced with emotion as she glared at me, her eyes flashing with warning. Her attitude was starting to get under my skin, but I knew that letting our emotions get the better of us now would only make things worse. I'm just genuinely worried about you. So I took a calm tone, trying to convey my true feelings to Selena without escalating the situation. If you're willing, would you tell me what's going on with you? I want to be able to help you, Selena. And with that, I expressed the thing I felt most strongly in my most straightforward way possible. I want to be of help to you. My entire feelings was condensed into those few words.
今はまだ話せない。
She said that, then looked down, a deeply apologetic expression on her face. Selena! Selena's face filled with sorrow. All I could do was whisper her name as I looked at it. I was once again reminded of the shallow nature of Selena's and my relationship. A fact I've been painfully aware of time and time again throughout the day. I knew almost nothing about Selena. We used to spend our afternoons together 7 years ago, but before I knew it, we lost touch and I couldn't even reach her anymore. But now we are reunited and we are working together fighting side by side against our enemies. But that's only as allies. We are together only because we have a common goal, maybe. But if we set all that aside, I wonder what Salina really thinks of me. And that's exactly what I'm most unsure about. It's also what I want to know most. Even after we arrived at the abandoned factory, Salina's behavior was still off. But I guess that's because I knew about the phone, so it seemed that way to me. I'm not sure if the others noticed the change in Salina, but the phone call today was the trigger, and my perspective on Salina had shifted, if only a little. This is like a very slow route so far. Like, days passed without anything happening. After school, as I headed to Cafe Anne, I couldn't help but think about the phone call Salina received yesterday. I had heard before that Salina was carrying some kind of burden related to her father. Was the phone call about Salina's dad too? I didn't have any proof, but I couldn't shake the feeling that it was connected. I also have a complicated relationship with my own parents. Especially when it comes to my father, who I don't live with. The distance between us is hard to put into words. And I can only imagine that it would be even more complicated for a girl around Salina's age and her father. Lost in thought, I eventually arrived at my destination. As soon as I stepped inside the store, I sensed an atmosphere that was different from usual. What is it? This feeling of something being off. Like something that's supposed to be here is missing? I see, so Amamiya's not here today. Let's go! I gazed out at the unusually quiet interior of the store. The seat that was practically reserved for him was slumped in. What do you mean practically reserved for him? That guy is an asshole. He does not deserve a special seat. Stumped in emptiness, its usual occupant absent. Wait, come to think, you really love to use this word. It starts to piss me off, bro. He was curled up at his desk, sleeping since lunch break. Which means he's probably still fast asleep in the classroom right now. Like, I feel like I have to take a shot every time this MC says, like, come to think of it. You know, if I were to play that game, I would be hella fucking drunk. Let's just hope he wakes up by morning. As I thought about that, my mind began to wander to how I should bring up the conversation when Salina arrived. The sound of a phone ringing started coming from the back of the room. And to think someone with a ringtone like Torianse has such an odd taste in music. It's starting when it suddenly starts singing. I hate when the SFX just keeps going and it just like should be, loop once and then stop.
ああ、編集長ですか？もう、ここ一体どこなんですか？言われた通り、祭り沢駅で降りましたよ。
This is the same voice actress who voices my mother. You are not fooling me, game.
で、わけわかんなくなったので、近くの喫茶店に入ったんです。女の子のスカート丈が異様に短いお店です。ここ知ってる？目的地はすぐそこ？誰かその辺の地元の人に聞け。そんな無責任な！もう、わかりましたよ。私がそんなしたら、編集長が骨を拾ってくださいね。
What is it? I got a really bad feeling about this. I quickly glanced around at the surrounding seats. And today, of all days, the shop is empty, with only 2 customers inside. One of them is me, and the other is a woman who's on the phone with her back to me. And from the conversation earlier, it seemed like they were saying something like, go ask someone around here for directions. Which means...
ねえ、君。
It's like bad promotions are always right, isn't it?
ちょっと、私の席の後ろに座ってる君だよ。
You mean me? I tried to play dumb and ask for clarification, but I didn't expect it to do much good. Like I said, there are only 2 customers here after all. In other words, if the 2 customers are going to have a conversation, it's inevitable that I be drawn into it.
そうだよ。
Let's go, I know you from B&DB's page.
ああ、期待させてるとこ悪いけど、逆なんじゃないよ。私バリバリの年上趣味だし。
I wasn't expecting anything so.
そんな釣れない言い方しないでよ。話が転がらないじゃない。
It looks like this is going to be a hassle. I had a feeling it would be like this, watching her talk non-stop all by herself. It's frustrating, but I got a feeling my prediction is going to come true. What is it anyway? It was a hassle, but it seemed like she'd just get louder if I ignored her, so I decided to respond for now.
この近くに宇宙公園ってあるよね。行き方教えてくれない？
It was fortunate, or perhaps not, but the place the woman asked about was somewhere I was quite familiar with. But it's also a place that's been a lot of trouble for me, with all sorts of complicated connections. Spacebar, huh?
そう。
When you leave the store, turn left and head straight, and you will run into a shopping street called Shutter Avenue or Shutter Street. The shopping street will end, and you will hit a big highway, and if you turn left there and
左ね。
take a right at the third light, then a left at the next one, and immediately another right, and when you turn left at the fourth light, you will be at Space Park. I love her so much already. Why do women like this not have a route? It's not like the directions were particularly complicated, but she couldn't think of a way to explain it anymore. I couldn't think of a way to explain it anymore, simply. Besides, I think that with even a little sense of direction, someone should be able to find Space Park just fine with the explanation I gave. See, it's easy, right? She just died on the spot. I had said, it's easy, right? But with a hint of implication, but...
さ。
Hmm?
私、この町初めてなの。よかったら公園まで道案内してくれないかな。
It seems my explanation hadn't been enough, after all. Well, it's just a hunch, but I'm guessing this person is probably directionally challenged, or maybe they are just extremely lazy. But guiding them to that notorious park is a bit of a different story.
別に私、怪しいものじゃないよ。これ名刺。
She said, handing me her business card with a practice there. One business card isn't going to dispel all suspicion, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Monthly Moo editor and journalist Akiya Subaru. Wait, what?
そう。私はオカルト雑誌の記者をしているの。
It seems that only made her seem even more suspicious.
矢島じゃなくて、やしまね。濁点はつけない方なんで、そこんとこよろしく。
She introduced herself, and I made a mental note to get it right. Akiya wasn't a Yajima, but a Yashima. Honestly, it didn't really matter to me, but I could tell she was particular about it, so I just got along with it.
この町に来たのは取材ってわけなんだけどね。脇道に連れ込んでいたずらしたりとか、そういう心配はないから。
Yashima stood up straight, puffing her chest out, as if to say, "So, what do you think?" To be honest, I had no idea why she was puffing out her chest like that. If she was that confident, she should be able to find her way to Space Park on her own. Sorry, but I got something I need to take care of after this, I said. Just as I was about to brush her off bluntly.
そんなん釣れないよ。
Yashima let out a petulant whine, her voice dripping with an innocence that seemed almost childish. She was really starting to get on my nerves. Instead, I did draw a map to Space Park on a paper napkin, though, I said. I said and smoothly handed her the napkin. What? I don't think the translation knows, how to say who says what right now. Yashima suddenly found herself at a loss for words. She stared at the napkin in my hand with a look of wonder, as if she was gazing at something utterly mysterious. I asked, "What's wrong?" I thought to myself maybe using a paper napkin was a bad idea after all. I should have just taken the time to dig out my notebook from my bag.
ありがとう。旅先で親切にされるとお姉さん感激しちゃうよ。
Saying that, she carefully took the map on the napkin and began to examine the Britain route once again. Even though I say we are traveling, it's only a 30-minute train ride to the city center. It seems my worries were just a coincidence. I mean, to be so happy about a map on a paper napkin, I wonder if they have been treated pretty badly by traveling before. I imagine they often have unpleasant experiences by interviewing people. Thinking about that made me feel a little bit sympathetic.
ところで君、ここで誰かと待ち合わせるの？
Yes, well...
相手はもしかしてガールフレンド？
What's this? It suddenly turned into a Q&A session? This is typical of a magazine reporter, just as I was becoming wary.
安藤、お前ひでえよ。なんで起こしてくれないんだよ。
I hope she's not going to be like, oh, so you swing that way. The usual hustle and bustle, which had been absent, suddenly reappeared before my eyes. It looked like he rushed over right after waking up, as his hair was quite messy. Yeah, you and me both. Oh, not this guy. I'm troubled by being suddenly suspected of being into BL. Apparently, women like that kind of a thing.
何の話だよ。
As he said that, Amamiya seemed to notice the business card on the table.
雑誌、もう編集部。もうの編集部の方なんですか？
まあね。
おー！僕物心がついた頃からもうずっと定期購読してますよ。
あら、そうなんだ。
This isn't flattery or pick-up attempt, is it? I thought to myself as I looked at Amamiya, whose narrow eyes were sparkling. Wait, this guy was a regular subscriber to Mo? That's dangerous.
僕の中じゃもう編集部は朝読み新聞社や中学館や新報社よりもずっと上ですよ。
This guy needs to be put down.
そうかしら。なかなか見込みのある若者じゃない。
Guess they wrote him a girlfriend in this case, I don't know. What exactly is this guy hoping for, praising Moe so much?
ところで、もう編集部の人がどうして祭り沢なんかやってきたんですか？
聞きたい？
そりゃもう
Hey, there's no way you could talk about something like that.
いえ、いいの。私も理解者に出会えて嬉しいし、それに私もすごく納得いかないのよね。
Wait, is that okay? Don't magazines have confidentiality agreements and stuff like that? Yajima-san casually starts talking to Amamiya. Now I'm starting to get worried about him.
うちの編集部に出入りしているライターが持ち込んだネタなんだけどね。もう記事のタイトルも決まってるの。
She then showed me her notebook.
祭り沢市に宇宙人出現
What's with the title? It sounds like a headline from a sports newspaper.
ちょっと、それは違うわ。スポーツ新聞がモーの見出しを真似たの。
Oh, I see. I don't really care either way. It's probably a big problem for them, though.
それで祭り沢市に宇宙人出現ってどういうことなんですか？
うん。宇宙人が祭り沢市の市民を殺しながら、この世界の乗っ取りを企てている。
Yajima-san said something incredible so casually.
まあ、そんな内容なんだけどね。どう？笑っちゃうでしょ。
This is bad, not funny. No matter how much of a joke it is, it's really bad that this is becoming a news article. The reason she spoke about it so readily is because she was convinced it was a dubious fake news story. But that's not far from the truth for me and us right now. It was a real crisis that was now upon us. Aliens or alien gods, that's about the only difference. To the person being attacked, there's not much difference between the two.
しかしどうして祭り沢市なんですかね？
そうなのよ。そこがポイントなんだけどね。
Yajima continued speaking as if she had been waiting for this opportunity.
この町には宇宙公園があるでしょ？あそこの由来知ってるでしょ？
The origin?
はるか昔に隕石が落ちて、その場所に公園を作ったってこと。
Now that you mention it, I think that's what it was about. Space Park has been there since I was born, so I never really thought about how it came to be.
じゃあその隕石が宇宙人と関係あると。
どれぐらい関係があるかは知らないけど、公園に加熱器塔があるわよね。あれが建設された年の7年前と、鐘が鳴らなくなった1年ほど前からとに、宇宙人の目撃談が集中してるっていうの。
で宇宙人って結局何をするんですか？
Amamiya asks a question that gets to the heart of the matter. Yajima's comment in response was incredibly spot on.
人間を食べるんだって。
まさか。
I was honestly a little intimidated by how surprisingly accurate the information was. Wow, they understand all that. Maybe Mo is actually an amazing magazine. But this is no time to be impressed. I have to report this to Mikone first.
どうしたの君？さっきから黙ってばかりだけど。
No, I'm fine. Given the current level of information, it wouldn't be surprising if someone had noticed the existence of other gods. If that happens, it shouldn't take long to figure out the connection between us and them. We absolutely have to make it a success by then.
そこなのよ。来月号の雑誌に掲載する予定でページを開けて待ってたんだけど、数日前から急に連絡が取れなくなっていろいろと探し回っているのよ。彼はしばらく祭り沢市で取材するってメッセージを残して、しょうがないから私が記事の続きを書くために舞台になっている祭り沢市に来たというわけ。そうだ、君にライターの写真渡しておくよ。
Saying that, she placed the photograph on the table.
名前は渋川達夫っていうの。
Well, his name is probably.
ライターとしての腕はいいんだけど、ギャンブル好きがたまに傷でね。もし彼らしき人を見かけたら名刺のところに電話をちょうだい。
Yes. I'd reply anyway. Ideally, I don't want to have any further contact with them. But this information about Shibukawa is very helpful. The missing person in this town are very likely to be connected to other gods.
とりあえず地図ありがとう。助かったわ。店を出たらまず左ね。じゃあね。
来月号の記事楽しみにしてます。
What happened to your voice, by the way? Saying that, Amamiya saw Yajima off with a smile, but soon her expression clouded over.
おい、店を出ていきなり右に曲がったぞ。大丈夫か、あの人。
There's no way she's okay. Could there be a more obvious opposite than this? I couldn't help but sigh.
今の人は知り合い？
Selena! Just as Yajima left, Selena appeared in front of me and Amamiya. Oh, so you were there. Then why have you been neglecting the shop all this time?
何よ。
No, it's nothing. I don't know what's wrong, but judging from her voice, she sounds pretty grumpy. Or rather, is she already a little angry? That person just came to ask for directions.
その割に話が長かったじゃない？
もうサリナちゃんがバイト中に無駄口叩いてる。
お客様、変な挑発はよしてください。
Selena glared sharply at Amamiya. There's no doubt she's completely in a bad mood. I ordered something for now, their usual coffee. I don't know why they are angry, but let's just place our order for now. It seems like anything I say in this situation will only backfire. Actually, I like to sort things out myself.
ご注文を繰り返します。コーヒー一つですね。少々お待ちください。
っていうか俺の注文また俺だけスルーかよ。俺ってそんなに存在感ないの？俺は道端の石ころか。
Yeah.
同じ石ころなら隕石になりたいよ。
What the fuck happened to you, bro? You could keep getting more and more annoying. Amamiya is yelling something strange, but I don't have the time or energy to deal with him. Thank God that I did not get, like, in my life, opportunity to voice someone as big of a failure as this guy. Like, even the MC is like a better person, which is like a big praise. Just like what that magazine reporter said earlier, I couldn't stop wondering why Selena was in a bad mood.
待っててくれたんだ。
Ah. Did you come to pick me up today? No, not today.
じゃあ何？まさかさっきの女の人と話すために来たっていうの？
Huh? Oh no, this is bad. Suddenly just as grumpy as she is at her part-time job. So, has it been going on ever since then? If so, that's not just being grumpy, that's anger.
すごく仲良さそうに話してたじゃない。ああいう年上の人がタイプなんだ。
No. The way they are being so critical is intense. It feels like every word they say is stinging. Are you really that unhappy about that? Are you really that unhappy that I was talking to Mo as editor reporter? As I thought about these things, I looked at Salina, who was still radiating an aura of displeasure. I was waiting to ask about the phone call Salina received yesterday, but it might be impossible.
別にあなたのタイプに口を出す気はないわ。
Salina, it seems you have misunderstood something, so let me tell you.
何よ。
I only just met that person, so I'm not interested in them at all.
ふん。
So I'm telling you to cheer up.
はあ？私は不機嫌でも何でもないわよ。
Shut the fuck up, you tsundere. I'm the one talking. No, even I can't agree with that. She's so obviously in a bad mood, there's no mistaking it.
普通よ、普通。
You don't look like it at all. You don't look like it at all.
じゃあ何よ。私が焼いてるとでも言うの？勘違いしてるのはあなたの方じゃないの？バッカみたい。明日もバイトあるけど、もう迎えに来なくていいから。
It seems that what I said earlier acted as a trigger, or rather a switch, that caused an eruption. Salina rattled off those words one after another, then turned her face away abruptly and started walking. Salina's steps are indeed heading towards the abandoned factory, but her sullen expression remains unchanged. Having no other choice, I decided to follow Salina, a few steps behind, maintaining a subtle distance. Sorry about that. With an awkward atmosphere still hanging over us, Salina and I entered the abandoned factory. Even Salina showed her usual self in front of everyone. That's good. I'm not dwelling on what happened earlier. That's right, there was something important I wanted to tell you.
どうしたの、スバル君。
As I recalled something important and raised my voice, Mikuna immediately jumped on it. That conversation with Mr. Yajima earlier, and the new information about missing persons that followed.
もしかしてその表情は意地？
そうなのか。
All the members present turned their eyes to me, except for Salina. Just as Mikuna imagined. Well, there were other things too, but I don't think I need to mention them. That's what I thought, so I took out some things that might be relevant to everyone, including some photos that I've been given by a magazine reporter for Moe.
誰だよ、これ。
There's a writer for the magazine, Mo, named Shibuka Watatsu.
オカルト雑誌、もうですか？あの宇宙人とか超能力とか超常現象とか
超。
なゆたちゃん、興奮しすぎ。あ、ごめんなさい。
I can't believe Nayuta is next after Amamiya. I'm a little surprised by the surprisingly large number of Mo's readers. Yeah, maybe that magazine is actually pretty amazing after all.
それでどうしたの？
Apparently, he went missing in his town. That was while I was doing some reporting in Matsuzawa City on a story about aliens possessing humans. Miko's expression instantly turned grim. I think I made the same face when I heard this story.
怖いですよ、先輩。
As she said that, Nayuta gripped my hand tightly. What's wrong? She's a bit of a scaredy cat for a moose reader. Sanina watched me and Nayuta from a distance with a cold gaze. Hey, wait a minute, let go of my hand. I just added another reason for her to be unhappy. I quickly let go, but it's not going to do any good, is it?
でもそのライターの失踪って本当に偉人と関係あるのか？
Were they, by the way, always disappearing with these bar lines kind of transition? I only noticed this like recently, but it's very, obvious that it's started happening now for me for some reason. What does that mean?
まず本当にこの街で消えたって確証はあるのかよ。
I certainly understand Kyo's point of view. It's not good to connect everything to alien gods.
そうですよ。モーのライターなんてむちゃくちゃうさんくさそうじゃないですか。仕事してることにしてどっかのパチンコ屋に入り浸っているとか、借金踏み倒して自ら行方くらましただけとか。
I won't deny that possibility either, but yeah, I guess the image of most writer is pretty much like what Naruto said. I nodded in agreement with Naruto's accurate and realistic analogy and began to doubt the relationship between this writer and the other god.
祭り沢氏と宇宙人の関係だけど、その記者はどの辺まで掴んだのかしら。
The bell tower was built in Space Park 7 years ago, and the bell stopped ringing about a year ago. They say that there's a concentration of alien sightings during these two periods.
トモはどう思う？
100% 信用はできない。
だろ
う。でも無視するのも良くないと思う。
At first glance, it might seem like an indecisive opinion, but I think Tomo's judgment is correct. Mikone probably thinks the same way. Her silence likely means she's agreeing.
宮子さん、私たちどうすればいいんでしょう？
宇宙公園の金付き塔といえば、サリナのお父さんが深く関わってたよね。なゆたちゃんはほとんどそのあたりのこと知らないんでしょ？金付き塔の金は、その昔、宇宙公園付近で落下した隕石の一部を流し込んで作られたものなんだけど、サリナのお父さんが祭り沢市に建設費を寄付したことでできたものよ。
そういえばそうだっけ。
Salina remained unresponsive to Kyo's words. Well, she was already in a bad mood, and then she brought up her parents.
でもどうして1年前から金が鳴らなくなったんだ？
What the fuck? Didn't you know that we destroyed it?
サリナ、お前の父親に聞いたら一発だろ。
We destroyed it, no? Like, what do you mean, why? Like, we destroyed it. That's why, no.
いやよ。
Huh? Short words, clear intentions. That's exactly the kind of impression Salina gave.
何言ってるんだよ。それぐらい聞いてくれてもいいだろ。
だから、絶対嫌って言ってるの。
Well, for now it's fine. We need to avoid a tense atmosphere, not only between me and Salina, but also between Kyo and Salina. With that in mind, I stepped between them and managed to stop them from escalating into an argument.
でも、他にもいろいろとやることはある。例えば、宇宙公園に出かけてみるとか。
確かにライターに関するヒントはありそう。
宇宙公園か。しばらく行ってなかったな。
どうしますか？今から行ってみます？
今日はもう遅いから明日にしましょう。どうしたの？
休日にみんなで宇宙公園ですか？今からワクワクドキドキです。一体何持っていけばいいんでしょう？
何って言われてもね
え。別に遠足じゃないんだぞ。普通に公園前に集合だよ。
了解しました。
It seemed everyone else felt the same way, and they gently cautioned Nayuta. It's unclear whether she understood, but Nayuta's expression did become somewhat more serious.
スバル君も分かった？
Yeah.
サリナ、あなたも明日は大丈夫？明日はバイト入れてないから。
Huh? I think I heard Sonina say she has to work tomorrow too, when I asked her a little while ago. Was I mistaken, or was there a sudden change in the work schedule?
そう。じゃあ明日は全員公演前に午前10時集合でいいわね。
いやー。
先輩、明日は特別気合い入れてお弁当作っていきますね。
Huh? Suddenly, Narita called out to me, and I let out a silly cry. I had been thinking about Salina's part-time job the whole time, so I wasn't really listening to what she was saying. Salina was staring at me, with a rather complicated expression on her face.
それじゃあ私は先に失礼するわ。
Then, suddenly her gaze faded, and Salina said that before leaving the abandoned factory. I suppose she meant it as a greeting to everyone, but it was clear she was trying to say, "Don't stop me." Salina.
どうしたんですか？今日のサリナちゃん、なんか変ですよ。先輩、喧嘩でもしたんですか？
That's not what... No, that's not it. I wonder if that counts as a fight. To me it looks pretty one-sided. But it's true that my words upset her. I just don't understand these things.
ちゃんと仲直りしないとダメですよ。サリナちゃん、追わなくていいんですか？
Yeah, that's right. Whether it's a fight or not is irrelevant at this point. The undeniable fact is that their relationship is strained. In an attempt to mend their strained relationship, I followed Salina and left the abandoned factory. Salina! Immediately after leaving the abandoned factory, I walked this road countless times. I spotted Salina's back and called out her name loudly towards her retreating back. Salina then stopped for a moment, and after a short pause, slowly turned around.
スバル、何か用？
No, I was thinking of walking you home. The real reason for this is to make up, but that will probably take quite some time. So I was planning to take Salina home and clear up the misunderstanding on the way.
どういう風の吹き回しかしら？
Sometimes it's nice to do something like this, right?
好きにしたら。
Yeah, I do that. I was worried they might refuse, but it seems they are okay with accompanying me home. After that, I need to talk to Salina properly about what happened today and get her to cheer up. Even though I was thinking that, I decided to start by asking about tomorrow's part-time job, which was what I was curious about. Hey, Salina.
何？
Didn't you say you had a part-time job tomorrow too?
たまにはみんなの手伝いもしないとね。
Are you sure it's okay to take time off so suddenly?
帰ったら電話しとくわ。それでいいでしょ。
That's true, but Salina's tone is still rather harsh, and it doesn't seem like she will easily cheer up. Just as I was starting to feel like I was at a loss, Salina suddenly looked me in the eye and asked a question.
私からも一つ聞いていいかしら。
What is it?
スバルってナユタともすごく仲いいわよね。
Don't make her like a tsundere who's just like jealous. This isn't it. She was never really cared about me. Or she never cared about me at all. Well, it's not bad. I thought I had answered the question honestly, but Salina's expression only grew more stern.
結局女の子だったら誰でもいいのね。
This is why no one likes tsunderes. Like, why would you love them? Even when you like eventually confess or like they confess, they are not going to become like the best girl. So the suffering is never worth it. Huh?
信じらんない。
Wait a minute, what does that mean? This won't clear up the misunderstanding and lead to reconciliation. It will only complicate the relationship further and make it worse. It's something I absolutely have to avoid. That's what I thought, and I frantically tried to explain myself, but...
喫茶店で見た年上の女の人。後輩のナユタ。それに私。私は家に送ってもらったくらいで揺れる軽い女じゃないわよ。
No, I really don't know the reporter from Mo, and I'm not particularly conscious of Naita. Salina's words conveyed a subtle nuance, as if she was both convinced and not.
じゃあ私はどうなの？
Then, in a tone that sounds like she's testing or confirming something, she asked me a question.
なんでわざわざバイト先まで迎えに来てくれたり、今日みたいに家に送ってくれたりするの？
That is... I'm left speechless. Of course, there's an answer, and I know it's intellectually, but... There were so many reasons and so many feelings that I couldn't put them into words properly. Suddenly, I find myself in front of Salina's apartment building. Had I come this far without even realizing it? Apparently, I was in a state where I didn't know where I was walking or pay attention to my surroundings. We were almost at the entrance to the apartment building when Salina suddenly stopped and turned around to look at me.
ここでいいわ。それじゃ。
Salina! I instinctively called out to her, but Salina didn't turn around and went straight into the apartment building. Even though I went to the trouble of driving her all the way home. No, walking her all the way home. I felt like it only deepened the rift between us. Okay, I'm going to leave it off here because mostly I'm stuttering at this point and I don't want to keep going with like my brain being all fogged up. So thank you guys for watching part 21 and part 1 of the Hime route, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao.